You ever wonder why the same woman who once couldn't stop texting you suddenly grows distant, like she never cared? It's not random. It's not about looks, money, or even status. It's about something far deeper, something most men never realize until it's too late. See, women don't fall in love with what you say. They fall in love with how they feel when they're around you. And when a man doesn't understand the emotional blueprint behind that, he becomes replaceable. You can do everything right, buy gifts, send sweet messages, act caring, and still lose her interest, because attraction isn't logical, it's psychological. Here's the truth most men are never told. Women are wired to test you, not to hurt you, but to reveal your emotional center. When she pulls away, she's unconsciously asking, "Can I feel safe with this man when I'm uncertain?" If your reaction is fear, chasing, or over-explaining, you fail the test. But if you hold your frame, stay calm, grounded, and non-reactive, her nervous system relaxes. That's when respect and desire return. It's not about being cold, it's about being centered. A woman can sense when a man is emotionally dependent on her approval, and the second she does, the polarity dies. She loses the feeling that he's the anchor in the storm, and she starts to drift. But when she feels your calm presence, your quiet confidence, your ability to stay composed under pressure, that's when something powerful happens. She feels safe to surrender into her femininity. Most men think control creates attraction, but the truth is, emotional freedom does. You don't win a woman's heart by holding tighter. You win it by standing taller, by showing her that her mood doesn't dictate your worth, that her silence doesn't shake your peace, that her love is a bonus, not your oxygen. Once you understand this, that emotional grounding is the silent language of masculine power, everything changes, not just with women, but with life itself. Now think about this. How many times have you lost interest from a woman not because of what you did, but because of how you reacted? Let me know your honest answer in the comments. And if this message hits something deep, share it with a man who needs to hear it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because what comes next will completely shift how you see female psychology forever. Here's the truth most men never want to face. Women don't fall for the man who needs them. They fall for the man who doesn't need anyone to feel complete. That doesn't mean being cold or emotionless. It means your sense of value doesn't depend on how she feels about you. It's a shift that turns a man from another option into the standard. See, every woman can sense when a man is trying to prove himself, when he's trying to earn her approval through validation, attention, or constant reassurance. It feels heavy, it feels desperate, and it kills attraction faster than anything else. A woman's emotions are like waves. They rise and fall. But if your mood changes with hers, she loses respect. She needs to feel that your world doesn't collapse just because hers is uncertain. Here's where psychology kicks in. Women subconsciously look for emotional stability. Not words, not promises, energy. They feel it. When you walk into a room, do you radiate calm or chaos? When she pulls away, do you chase her? Or do you let her come back on her own? That energy difference determines everything. The moment you stop trying to convince a woman to stay, you give her a reason to. When you stop trying to impress her, she starts being impressed. It's paradoxical, but real. Because women aren't drawn to perfection, they're drawn to presence. A man who's grounded, who listens without defending, who stands his ground without aggression, that's magnetic. That's masculine energy in its purest form. And when a woman meets that energy, she can finally relax. Her walls drop, her guard softens. She starts to admire you, trust you, crave your approval, not because you demand it, but because you've earned it through consistency and calmness. That's when desire transforms into devotion. Understand this. Your value as a man doesn't come from how much attention you get. It comes from how little external chaos can move you. The quieter your mind, the stronger your energy. The stronger your energy, the deeper her attraction. So ask yourself this: are you leading your emotions, or are they leading you? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you're starting to see the shift, hit that like button and share this with a brother who's been chasing instead of leading. Because the moment you understand this next truth, you'll never look at women the same again. There's a moment every man faces, the one where he realizes that no matter how hard he tries, love cannot be earned through effort alone. You can be loyal, kind, generous, even perfect on paper, and still she pulls away. That moment breaks most men, but it's also the moment that can build you into the kind of man women never forget. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Attraction isn't about fairness. It's about energy exchange. When a man's life revolves around winning a woman's affection, his energy becomes needy, anxious, predictable. But when his life revolves around purpose, when his energy is moving forward with or without her, that's when everything changes. She starts to chase you. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally self-sufficient, the kind of man who can love deeply but doesn't lose himself in the process. That kind of man becomes rare, magnetic, mysterious. He's not cold, he's focused. His heart is open, but his boundaries are iron. He can walk away when respect fades, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. And that's what women find irresistible. When you're no longer trying to convince a woman of your worth, she starts to feel it. Because confidence isn't what you say. It's the silence between your words. It's how you handle rejection, how you move when things fall apart, how you keep your head up when no one's watching. That's the moment your masculine energy speaks louder than anything you could ever say. Psychologically, this flips the dynamic. The man who once sought validation becomes the prize. The man who once waited for texts becomes the one she overthinks about. And not because you played games, but because you finally understood that a man's emotional detachment isn't cruelty. It's strength. It's the discipline of knowing when to give and when to pull back. So ask yourself, if she left today, would your world collapse, or would it continue moving forward? Because the answer to that question defines the kind of man you are becoming. Comment below with one thing you've learned about staying grounded when emotions rise. And if you're starting to understand this shift, hit that like button and share this message with a man who's still giving everything to someone who doesn't value it. Because what comes next will expose the most misunderstood truth about female psychology. Let's talk about the one truth that silently decides everything in a man's relationship life: emotional polarity, the magnetic pull between masculine and feminine energy. It's what makes her heart race when you walk into a room, or what makes her completely indifferent. And here's the part most men never realize. Polarity isn't something you do, it's something you become. When a man loses his edge, when he starts apologizing for his standards, walking on eggshells to keep her happy, he doesn't become more loving. He becomes less attractive. Women aren't drawn to perfection, they're drawn to polarity, to that energetic difference that makes her feel safe and excited at the same time. She doesn't want another emotional mirror, she wants your grounded contrast. That's why she tests you, not to manipulate, but to feel your strength. When she says something sharp, pulls away, or acts uncertain, she's subconsciously asking, "Can you stay calm when my emotions storm?" Most men panic. They defend, explain, argue, or withdraw completely. But the man who understands psychology knows that's not the moment to fix her. It's the moment to lead energy, to breathe deeper, to remain still. A woman can only trust a man who doesn't crumble under pressure. Because if your mood depends on hers, she feels responsible for your emotions, and the attraction dies. But when your peace is your own, when your energy doesn't shift with hers, she feels something she rarely feels in today's world: safety. That safety awakens her femininity, her softness, her natural desire to follow your lead. It's not about dominance, it's about direction. Masculine energy moves with clarity. Feminine energy flows with emotion. When you're the anchor, she's free to be the ocean. The most attractive men aren't those who control women, they're the ones who control themselves. They don't chase validation, they create gravity. Their energy says, "You can stay or go, I'm still complete." And that's when women stop testing and start trusting. So think about this. Are you the calm in her storm, or are you becoming part of the chaos? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this message hits home, hit that like button. Share this with a man who's forgotten his strength and stay tuned, because the next truth will completely rewrite how you see yourself in relationships. There's a point where a man realizes he's not losing women, he's shedding versions of himself that were never respected in the first place. Every rejection, every heartbreak, every woman who walked away wasn't punishment, it was feedback. It was life showing you who you were when you didn't value yourself. See, most men were never taught emotional sovereignty. You were told to give, to please, to prove your love by sacrificing your peace. But that conditioning turned you into someone easy to manipulate. The more you chased approval, the more women sensed that weakness, even if they couldn't explain it. Because deep down, every woman is biologically wired to test for strength, not physical, but emotional. She needs to feel that you can protect your energy even when everything around you feels uncertain. And that's where the transformation begins. The moment you stop reacting and start observing, something inside you shifts. You start to notice patterns, the tone she uses when she's testing, the distance she creates when she's unsure, the way she mirrors your emotional state. And instead of taking it personally, you start smiling. Because you finally understand it's not about her, it's about you maintaining your center. That's the masculine frame. The invisible power that separates the boys from the men. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You know who you are, what you stand for, and what energy you'll never beg for again. When you reach that point, everything about your interactions changes. She starts to respect you differently. She leans in more. She opens up emotionally, not because you demanded it, but because she feels safe in your presence. The paradox is powerful. When you stop trying to control her love, you start to inspire it. Because women don't trust a man who seeks control. They trust a man who's in control of himself. That's the real definition of strength. So ask yourself, are you still trying to earn love, or are you learning to embody it? Comment your answer below. And if this message hit that part of you that's tired of being misunderstood, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with a man who's finally ready to reclaim his power. Because what I'm about to reveal next is the final shift that changes everything you thought you knew about women forever. Here's the moment of truth. Once you understand this final shift, you'll never chase again, because you'll finally see what women have been responding to all along. It was never your looks. It was never your status. It was never even what you said. It was your energy, the quiet, grounded, unshakable energy of a man who knows who he is, with or without her. When a woman feels that, she feels something ancient, something primal. It's safety mixed with desire. She stops comparing you to anyone else because your presence itself becomes rare. That's the kind of energy that doesn't beg, doesn't boast, doesn't need to convince. It simply is. That's masculine power, silent, steady, and undeniable. But here's what most men miss. It's not about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. You can be passionate, loving, vulnerable, but never unstable. Because women don't run from your feelings, they run from your lack of control over them. The moment you become emotionally fluent, aware, not reactive, you enter a different league of men. You stop being predictable, and you start being polarizing. She doesn't just like you, she feels you. This is why emotional discipline is the ultimate form of attraction. It's not coldness, it's clarity. It's knowing that your peace is sacred, that you can love deeply without losing yourself, that walking away from disrespect doesn't make you heartless. It makes you honorable. That's the point when a woman looks at you and realizes, I can't manipulate him. I can only respect him. And when you reach that level of presence, everything changes. You stop chasing temporary highs. You start attracting women who value your depth. Conversations feel effortless. Boundaries feel natural, and your life begins to move with purpose again, because you're no longer acting from fear. You're acting from alignment. So I'll leave you with this. If every woman you meet is a mirror, what has she been reflecting back to you about the man you are right now? Sit with that question, and drop your answer in the comments below. If this message woke something in you, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with a man who's still searching for validation instead of realizing he's the source of it. Because once you understand this, everything truly changes forever.